Monday morning. I'm at Southwell today, but this is no ordinary Monday morning because it's Christmas Day. Well, it's finally dropped silent. Sounds as though the Christmas morning service is over. There's a few revellers starting to leave the building, but it does sound nice. I must admit I'm not religious in any way, and yet I do like to visit churches, or the outsides of them. They always make good hunting grounds for invertebrates, so I'm going to see if and what I can find. I was hoping for some Christmas Day Harvestman, so we'll have to see what turns up. But a beautiful morning so far. My arrival here was met with the bells of this beautiful minster, and the vicar, he does play very well, I must admit. He's an expert with his organ, you know. It's quite pleasant sat here. The sky has suddenly decided to become overcast and we have no sunshine now, but you may remember a couple of weeks ago I came and visited the evergreen oak, which is just down there behind the darker yew which is in front of it, and I came, as I do every year, to look for the leaf mines of Ectodemia herringella, which we found, if you remember, amongst a host of other species. But I'm not going to show you that again today, but I'm going to show you another leaf mine on a different plant, and it's this one. Well, you may well recognise these leaves as being the leaves of Pyracantha. Pyracantha is often called firethorn, and it comes in a number of different varieties. It's grown for its berries throughout the winter and puts on an absolutely fabulous show of berries. The most common variety is the orange one, but it is quite red in some instances, and it's a beautiful shrub worthy of any garden. It's often used as single shrubs or in several shrubs as part of a shrubbery, but more often than not it's seen growing up the walls of houses and outbuildings, and occasionally even grown as hedges. If you have any of those in your garden, you will almost certainly have this leaf mine, and this leaf mine is the leaf mine of Phyllonecta leucographella. It's an absolute beauty of a Phyllonecta, really well marked, a really nice bright rich chestnut colour with various white dashes and markings. It's a cracking thing. It's another one of those species which we can thank the horticultural trade for bringing into the UK, and I think it appeared in the 1990s or 1980s, but it's now everywhere and has spread with the growth of Pyracantha. The mine is a large blotcher mine formed directly over the midrib, and if you go out and look for this in your garden now, if you have Pyracantha, chances are you will find a range of mines all like this, quite silvery. This is an upper surface leaf miner, and many mines will be occupied, especially smaller ones. This one is an old mine and isn't occupied, but it's one to look out for. Now, if you're looking for an invertebrate fix over Christmas and you're a bit fed up with the festivities and eating constantly, then if you have any ferns nearby or in your garden, especially if it's species like hart's tongue fern, but any sort of broadleaf ferns, have a look for the feeding signs and larval cases of two Psychoides moths. Both are small, about 7 or 8 mil in length from head to the end of the wings, and both are purplish, and there are differences between the larvae as well. I can't remember offhand, but the most common of the two is Psychoides felicivora, and these hart's-tongue ferns are absolutely full of the larval signs. Well, here's the typical feeding damage showed by the larva of Psychoides felicivora. And there's two lots of damage here actually. You see these two shorter lines here? These are the early mines made by the larva. The larva at first mines a leaf, and then I'll show you what it does after that. And here's the signs of later feeding, what it does after this stage. If we turn this over, these brown spongy like areas on the leaf are the sporangias, if I remember right. This is where the plant reproduces from and produces the spores, and after initially mining the leaves, the larva then enters these sporangias and feeds within. It makes something of a silken tube. You might see some elements of silk lining these, and the larva feeds entirely confined within these silken tubes, eventually emerging as an adult. It's proved to be common pretty much wherever you find hart's-tongue fern especially, and there's lots of it here at Southwell Minster, but even individual isolated plants will often have this species. May also have Psychoides veruella as well, but that's rarer in Nottinghamshire. The predominant species of the two is Psychoides felicivora. Beautiful little moth. Well, this to me is a quite extraordinary record. After filming the feeding signs and mines of this species, I never expected this adult to suddenly appear and settle on this leaf. This of course confirms that this is Psychoides felicivora. Hard to imagine to see an adult on Christmas Day. Quite extraordinary. And as far as I'm aware, this species doesn't include Christmas as its flight time. These are absolutely cracking little moths. They are only small. This one measures about 8 millimeters from head to the end of the wings. The wings are a bronze purplish colour, metallic, and there's that spot towards the rear end, that white spot. What a surprise this is. To see a moth like this, while the choir at Southwell Minster here are currently singing "O Come All Ye Faithful" on Christmas Day. If you do visit Southwell Minster, and I urge everybody to visit Southwell at least once in their lifetime, the whole town is absolutely beautiful. It's quite a quaint little town, but at the side of the Minster are the ruins here of the old Bishop's Palace. These walls are currently being visited by great tits, blue tits and a nuthatch, because there's a number of holes in the wall. On the left of the screen, as you look at it, is the old latrine, otherwise known as the Bishop's Bog. While horticulture has no doubt brought in many potentially invasive and invasive species into the UK from all parts of the world, it has brought in some benefits, and certainly one of the benefits nowadays is that you can find a plant that flowers for every day, 365 days a year. There are numerous species, and there are a number of these. If I remember right from my horticultural days again, This is one of the flowering almonds, one of the winter flowering ones. And what a joy to see these beautiful flowers on Christmas Day. If ever there's a present to the world, it's this. Beautiful. And there's every chance that these, if this weather continues, will get pollinated. What a joy to see on any Christmas Day. Well, there's a nice clump of rosemary here at the side of the Bishop's Palace, and this is a species that I've not had here before. In fact, I don't think I've had this species in Southwell, but tucked in with these ladybirds we have 7-spot ladybirds here, 7-spot ladybirds there, but then tucked in here lots of harlequin ladybirds, a couple of 7-spot ladybirds, and there's at least 3 Chrysalina americana, the rosemary beetle, all in one tight cluster. And I've not had rosemary beetle here before, all tucked together. I don't know how many there are. Certainly 3. Oh, and there's something else. I didn't notice this chap. There's a hawthorn shield bulb just below my thumb. And I don't want to try and untangle these too much, but now you can see the head of the hawthorn shield bug pretty much centre. It's sat on some harlequins, and tucked above that are 3 rosemary beetles. Interesting, just at the top of the screen there's a cluster of 7-spot ladybirds, and they're separate. Most of those ladybirds that you can see around the rosemary beetles and the hawthorn shield bug all appear to be harlequins. I do enjoy coming to Southwell, and coming here on Christmas Day has been really nice. If you're on your own at Christmas, it's not always the greatest fun you will ever have, but I've enjoyed this. One of the powerful things about having an interest in invertebrates, a wide-ranging interest, gives you something to focus the mind on. And I've been completely lost in looking for invertebrates and talking about the invertebrates that I have found for getting on towards a couple of hours now, and it's been nice to do that with the accompaniment of the Christmas service which is going on as we speak. I thought it had stopped, but folk keep coming from all points of the compass in Southwell. Still going on. The first Noel. But it just goes to show that no matter what day of the year it is, even in the depths of winter, invertebrates can be found, not always with lots of patience. Some species are very easy to find, as we found with 7-spot and harlequin ladybirds and the accompanying rosemary beetles. And then we've had the Psychoides felicivora, which was flitting onto the leaf and around the harp's tongue fern. 5-horn leaf miner, all found relatively easily. No digging around and lifting bark and lifting stones. And all found within the beautiful grounds and churchyard of Southwell Minster. great way to come and pass an hour or two, even on Christmas Day. Merry Christmas.